Milo woke up early, rubbing the sleepy crumbs from his eyes. The golden morning light filled his cozy blue bedroom. His little alarm clock buzzed softly. Today was a big day. He had his first dentist visit ever. Milo was 6 years old, and he was feeling a little nervous. He glanced at the cup by the bathroom sink. Inside the cup sat his shiny red toothbrush. It had soft white bristles and a smile painted right on the handle. Milo had named it Giggles because brushing always made him giggle. But last night, something strange had happened. When he was getting ready for bed, Giggles had wiggled all by itself. Milo had gasped so loud that his cat, Pickle, peeked around the door with her green eyes wide. The toothbrush had wiggled again, and then it spoke. "Hey, Milo, what do you call a bear with no teeth?" it squeaked in a funny little voice. Milo was so startled that he nearly dropped it. A bear with no teeth? I don't know," he had stammered. "A gummy bear," Giggles had chirped, and Milo had burst out laughing. This morning, Milo wondered if he had dreamed it. He tiptoed to the bathroom and picked up Giggles. "Good morning," he whispered. Giggles was quiet for a moment. Then it gave a tiny shiver. "Good morning, Milo. Ready for another joke?" Milo grinned. Maybe the dentist wouldn't be so scary if he had a toothbrush that told jokes. "Okay," he whispered, "one more." "Why did the cookie go to the dentist?" asked Giggles in its bright voice. Milo tapped his chin. I give up." "Because it needed a filling," Giggles had announced. Milo giggled so hard he had to sit on the edge of the tub. He held the toothbrush up to his cheek like a little microphone. "You're funny, Giggles." "That's my job. I'm here to make brushing fun. And today, I'll help you feel brave at the dentist." Milo felt a warm flutter in his chest. Maybe he wasn't scared after all. He brushed carefully while Giggles told silly jokes about teeth and toothpaste. Each time, Milo laughed so much he nearly dropped the brush. He even brushed longer than usual because he didn't want to stop hearing the funny voice. Pickle sat in the doorway, her tail twitching as she watched Milo laugh. She must have thought he was being very strange, talking to a toothbrush. When he was all done, Milo rinsed his mouth and gave Giggles a little bow. "Thank you," he said. "I feel much better." "Anytime," said Giggles. "Remember, if you need a giggle, I'm right here." Milo carefully placed Giggles back in the cup. He felt brave and ready to face the day. His mom called from the kitchen. "Milo, breakfast is ready. We have time before your appointment." Milo hurried to the table. While he ate his cereal, he imagined all the jokes Giggles might tell the dentist. Would the dentist think it was funny too? He didn't know how Giggles could talk. Maybe it was magic. Or maybe all toothbrushes could talk, but only if you listened really closely. He decided to keep Giggles a secret for now. It felt special, like a tiny treasure only he knew about. After breakfast, Milo packed his little backpack with a book, a small toy car, and of course, Giggles wrapped in a soft towel. He wanted to have it close just in case he felt worried. When he and his mom left the house, Pickle meowed goodbye from the windowsill. Milo waved and promised he'd be back soon. As the car drove down Maple Lane, Milo held his backpack tight and whispered to Giggles, "Ready for our adventure?" And deep inside the towel, Giggles wiggled happily. "Ready, Milo. Let's make today a laughing day." The dentist's office smelled like mint and bubblegum. Milo held his mom's hand as they walked inside. The waiting room was bright and cheerful. There were chairs in all colors, red, yellow, blue, and a little table with picture books and puzzles. Milo's tummy fluttered. He tried to look brave, but his hand felt sweaty in his mom's. She knelt beside him. "You're going to be just fine," she said gently. "The dentist is very nice." He nodded, but couldn't stop thinking about the big chair and the bright light. He peeked inside his backpack. "Giggles," he whispered, "are you there?" The towel wriggled. "What did the dentist say to the tooth before the exam?" came the soft voice. Milo blinked. "I don't know." "Fill me in later," Giggles quipped. Milo snorted so loud the receptionist looked up in surprise. He quickly covered his mouth and giggled again. "Everything okay?" his mom asked, smiling. "Uh-huh, just remembered something funny." They sat in bright blue chairs. Milo picked up a book about a dragon with sparkling teeth. But he kept glancing at his backpack, hoping no one else could hear the little voice inside. A boy across from him was playing with a toy train. He looked about Milo's age. He noticed Milo's backpack wiggling and tilted his head curiously. "Is something in there?" Milo swallowed. "Just my toothbrush." The boy raised his eyebrows. "Your toothbrush moves?" Milo hugged the bag tighter. "Sometimes." The boy shrugged and pushed his train around the track. Milo sighed of relief. It was hard to keep such a big secret. Just then, a tall man in a white coat appeared at the door. He had curly hair and a friendly smile. "Milo, I'm Dr. Harris. Ready to come back?" Milo's heart thumped. He stood up slowly and squeezed his mom's hand one more time. She whispered, "You're so brave," and kissed his forehead. Dr. Harris led him down a hallway lined with colorful posters of smiling teeth. Milo tried to be brave, but each step made his legs feel wobbly. He thought about Giggles and wished he could hear a joke right now. When they reached the exam room, Dr. Harris showed Milo the big chair. "Hop up here, buddy," he said kindly. "Would you like to hold something that makes you feel comfortable?" Milo's face brightened. "Can I hold my toothbrush?" "Of course," said Dr. Harris. Milo gently unwrapped Giggles and clutched it to his chest. Dr. Harris didn't look surprised at all. "That's a good toothbrush," he said with a wink. "Does it have a name?" Milo nodded. "Giggles." "Great name," Dr. Harris said. "Ready for a checkup?" Milo nodded again, feeling just a little braver. As the chair reclined, Milo whispered, "Giggles, can you tell me one more joke?" "Why did the king go to the dentist?" came the tiny voice. "Why?" "To get his crown checked," Giggles declared. Milo burst out laughing so hard that Dr. Harris paused, blinking in surprise. But then he started chuckling too. "I like that one. Sounds like you have a funny helper." Milo beamed. For the first time, he felt like maybe the dentist's office wasn't such a scary place after all. Milo lay back in the big blue dentist chair, holding Giggles tightly in his hand. The bright light above made the room look like a sunny morning. Even though his heart still thumped a little fast, he was glad he had his joke-telling toothbrush with him. Dr. Harris pulled on his gloves and smiled kindly. "Milo, I'm just going to count your teeth first, okay?" Milo nodded, squeezing Giggles so it wouldn't slip away. Dr. Harris picked up a little mirror on a shiny handle and gently looked inside Milo's mouth. The mirror felt cool against his teeth. "Let's see," Dr. Harris said, using a soft sing-song voice. 1, 2, 3. My goodness, you've got a whole bunch of clean teeth." Milo peeked up, trying to smile even with his mouth open. Dr. Harris kept counting, tapping gently on each tooth. Milo closed his eyes, wishing he could hear another joke to keep his mind busy. He thought maybe if he squeezed Giggles again, the little voice would whisper something funny. Sure enough, the toothbrush gave a tiny wiggle in his palm. Then it squeaked in the same silly voice, "Hey, Milo, what does the dentist of the year get?" Milo tried not to giggle with his mouth wide open. He tapped Giggles lightly with his finger, letting it know he was listening. "A little plaque," Giggles announced with a happy wiggle. Milo's belly did a warm flip. Even Dr. Harris noticed a smile stretching across his face. "I take it you have a helper telling jokes," he chuckled. Milo nodded carefully. Dr. Harris winked. "That's the best kind of helper. You know, when I was little, I was scared of the dentist too. My grandpa used to tell me stories about brave teeth that loved to be cleaned." Milo's eyes went round. "Brave teeth?" he managed to say between checks. "Oh yes," Dr. Harris said. "They wore tiny capes and flew around my mouth fighting sugar bugs." Milo let out a little laugh, feeling much better. He imagined his teeth with superhero capes zooming around his tongue. The picture in his head was so silly that he almost forgot to be scared. "All done counting," Dr. Harris announced cheerfully. "Now I'm going to give your teeth a nice polish so they stay strong." Milo nodded again. He watched as Dr. Harris prepared a small spinning brush and a cup of sparkly paste that smelled like strawberries. The spinning brush whirred softly like a tiny motorboat. While Dr. Harris polished each tooth, Milo held Giggles up to his ear. He liked how the toothbrush was always ready to keep him smiling. "Knock, knock," Giggles whispered. Milo perked up. He loved knock-knock jokes. Dr. Harris paused, curious. "Who's there?" he played along. "Orange," Giggles said. "Orange who?" Milo and Dr. Harris asked together. "Orange, you glad you came to the dentist?" Giggles finished. Milo and Dr. Harris both started laughing. Even Milo's mom, who was watching from the corner, had to dab her eyes because she was giggling so much. "That is the best toothbrush I've ever met," Dr. Harris said when he caught his breath. "I think you'll be my bravest patient today." Milo felt proud. The fear that had been buzzing in his belly when he walked in was almost completely gone. He looked at Giggles and whispered, "Thank you." "You're welcome," the toothbrush said. "I've got a million more where that came from." After the polish, Dr. Harris showed Milo a little mirror so he could see his extra sparkly teeth. They looked so clean and shiny, almost like pearls. "They're perfect," Dr. Harris said. "No cavities at all." Milo's shoulders relaxed. He hadn't realized he was so worried about cavities. He had been brushing every morning and night, just like his mom and dad had taught him. "See?" his mom said gently as she came over to hug him. "You did it! I'm so proud of you." Milo hugged her back. He felt tall and brave, like one of the superhero teeth in Dr. Harris's stories. Dr. Harris gave him a bright blue sticker that said "Cavity-Free Star" and a small green toy dinosaur. Milo grinned so wide his cheeks hurt. Before they left the exam room, Milo turned back to Dr. Harris. "Thank you for being so nice." "And thank you," Dr. Harris said with a big smile. "I've never had a toothbrush that tells jokes before. You made my whole morning." Milo held Giggles up like a microphone. "Wanna say bye?" Giggles gave a happy wiggle and squeaked, "Bye, Dr. Harris. Keep brushing and keep laughing." Dr. Harris laughed again. "I will." As they walked back down the hallway, Milo felt lighter than air. He'd faced something scary and found out it wasn't so bad when you had a friend to cheer you up. In the waiting room, the boy with the toy train was still playing. He looked up, eyes wide, when he saw Milo smiling with his toothbrush in hand. "Did you do it?" the boy asked. Milo nodded proudly. "Yep, it wasn't scary at all." The boy studied Milo's toothbrush. "Does it really talk?" Milo thought for a moment. He could have said it was just pretend, but today he felt too proud to hide it. "Yeah," he said finally, "it really does." The boy's eyes got big. "Cool." Milo grinned. It was cool. It was the coolest toothbrush in the whole wide world. The next morning, Milo woke up feeling like the bravest kid on the planet. He yawned, stretched his arms over his head, and peeked over at his cup by the bathroom sink. Giggles was waiting. the little smile on the handle bright as ever. "Morning," Milo whispered. "Morning," Giggles squeaked back. "Want to start your day with a joke?" Milo giggled. "Yes, please." "What kind of dinosaur has the cleanest teeth?" Giggles asked in a secret voice. Milo tapped his chin. "I don't know." "A flossoraptor!" Milo laughed so loudly that Pickle the cat jumped off the windowsill. He was still chuckling when he brushed his teeth. He had never looked forward to brushing before, but now it was the best part of his morning. After breakfast, Milo packed his backpack for school. He carefully wrapped Giggles in a soft cloth and tucked it between his pencil case and his favorite library book. Today was Friday, which meant it was show and tell. Everyone in class would bring something special to share. Some kids brought shiny rocks, and others brought stuffed animals or drawings. Milo's mom came to check that he was ready. "Do you have something for show and tell?" Milo nodded. "I'm bringing Giggles." His mom smiled. "That's a great idea." As Milo walked to school, he thought about what he would say. He hoped the other kids wouldn't think he was being silly. He had never heard of anyone bringing a toothbrush to show and tell, but no one else had a toothbrush that told jokes. When he reached his classroom, he put his backpack in his cubby and sat on the big round carpet with the rest of the class. Miss Parker clapped her hands. "Good morning, everyone. Today we have show and tell. Who would like to go first?" A girl named Emma showed her collection of shiny stickers. Then Caleb shared a picture of his puppy. Milo's heart fluttered each time another kid stood up. He wondered if he should keep Giggles hidden after all. What if everyone laughed in the wrong way? Finally, Miss Parker smiled at Milo. "Milo, would you like to share today?" Milo took a deep breath. He stood up slowly and walked to the front of the room. His hands felt a little shaky as he unwrapped Giggles from the cloth. The other kids leaned forward to see what he was holding. "This is my toothbrush," he said. His cheeks felt warm. "His name is Giggles." A boy in the back whispered, "A toothbrush?" Milo took another breath. "But he's not just any toothbrush," he said bravely. "He tells jokes." Everyone blinked at him. Miss Parker tilted her head. "Really? A toothbrush that tells jokes?" Milo nodded. He held Giggles up like a little microphone. "Giggles, can you tell us a joke?" For a second, the room was so quiet Milo could hear the clock ticking. Then, in the bright, silly voice, Giggles chirped, "What did the dentist give the marching band?" Milo swallowed. "What?" he asked. "A tube of toothpaste!" The entire class burst into giggles. Even Miss Parker covered her mouth to hide her smile. Milo felt his shoulders relax. They liked it. He hadn't expected them to laugh so happily. He decided to ask Giggles for another. "Giggles," he whispered, "one more?" "What does a vampire use to brush his teeth?" Giggles asked. Everyone leaned closer. "What?" they chorused. "A toothpaste!" Giggles squeaked. The class erupted in more laughter. Milo felt taller than he ever had before. This was even better than being brave at the dentist. This was sharing something special that made everyone smile. Miss Parker wiped her eyes. "That's wonderful, Milo," she said. "Would you like to pass Giggles around so everyone can see?" Milo hesitated. He had never let anyone else hold Giggles, but he looked at the happy faces around the circle and nodded. "Just be gentle," he said. He passed it to Emma first. She held it carefully, her eyes wide. "Does it always tell jokes?" "Only when you ask nicely," Milo explained. Emma looked at the toothbrush. "Giggles, do you have a joke for me?" Giggles wiggled in her hand. "What did one tooth say to the other tooth?" Emma's eyes were huge. "What?" "Get your cap on, we're going out tonight." Emma laughed so hard she almost dropped Giggles. She passed it to the next kid, who was already giggling in anticipation. Each time, Giggles told a new, silly joke about teeth, toothpaste, or brushing. The kids couldn't stop laughing. When Giggles made it back to Milo, the whole class clapped. Miss Parker gave him a proud smile. "That was the most unusual show and tell we've ever had. Thank you for sharing, Milo." Milo beamed. He felt warm all over, like a little light was glowing in his chest.
As he sat down again, Emma leaned over and whispered, "Your toothbrush is amazing." "Thanks," Milo whispered back. "He's my best helper." After show and tell, Miss Parker started reading a story about a mouse with wiggly teeth. But Milo was still thinking about how everyone had laughed with him, not at him. He had been so worried that bringing Giggles would be embarrassing, but instead it was the happiest moment of his week.
He peeked at the toothbrush, tucked safely in his cubby. Giggles gave a tiny wiggle, almost like a secret high five. Milo smiled. No matter what happened next, he knew he could always count on his funny, brave little toothbrush. That afternoon, Milo's mom picked him up from school. As they walked home, Milo told her every detail about show and tell. He described how everyone laughed and clapped and how proud he felt when Giggles shared the jokes. "That sounds wonderful," his mom said, squeezing his hand. "You were so brave to share something different." Milo beamed. He knew she was right. Being different could feel scary, but sometimes it made the best memories. When they reached the porch, a voice called, "Milo!" It was his friend Noah from next door, waving excitedly. "Want to come to my sleepover tonight?" Milo had almost forgotten about Noah's sleepover. He liked spending the night at his friend's house, but sometimes he missed his own bed. He glanced at his mom. "If it's okay with your mom," Noah added quickly. His mom smiled. "I think that's a great idea. You'll have fun." Milo felt a little flutter of worry in his belly, but he nodded. "Okay." Then he looked at her and whispered, "Can I bring Giggles?" "Of course," she said, ruffling his hair. "He's part of your bedtime routine." A few hours later, Milo was packing his small backpack with pajamas, his favorite stuffed fox, and Giggles wrapped carefully in a striped towel. He carried everything next door, where Noah's mom welcomed him with a warm hug and the smell of pizza. After dinner, the boys built a big fort out of couch cushions and blankets. They pretended it was a secret castle where only brave knights could enter. Noah's little sister Lily peeked in with wide eyes. "Can I play?" she asked shyly. Milo nodded. "Only if you know the secret password." Lily looked worried. "I don't know." "Don't worry," Milo said. "We'll make one up." Noah grinned. "The password is Giggles." Milo almost laughed out loud. That was perfect. When they finished building the castle, it was time to get ready for bed. Noah's mom gave them each a cup of warm milk and a cookie. Then she said, "Okay, everyone, go brush your teeth." Milo glanced at his backpack. He wondered if he should keep Giggles a secret. But after show and tell, he felt braver. Maybe Noah and Lily would like the jokes too. He pulled out the towel and unwrapped his toothbrush. He said, "I brought my toothbrush from home." Noah peered over. "Does it really talk?" Milo nodded. "Want to hear it?" Noah and Lily looked at each other, then nodded eagerly. Milo held Giggles up. "Giggles, can you tell my friends a joke?" Giggles wiggled. "What game do little teeth play at sleepovers?" The bright voice chirped. The kids leaned closer. "What?" they asked together. "Truth or toothbrush?" All three kids burst out laughing. Even Noah's mom peeked in, smiling at the sound. "Is it magic?" Lily asked in a whisper. Milo thought about it. He didn't really know the answer. Maybe. Or maybe it's just special. They took turns brushing their teeth while Giggles told more jokes. Each time, the bathroom filled with giggles and snorts. Even Noah's mom couldn't help chuckling as she helped Lily rinse. When it was Milo's turn to brush, Giggles whispered, "Want a bedtime joke?" Milo nodded, toothbrush in his mouth. "What did the toothpaste say to the toothbrush?" Milo's eyes sparkled. He paused and pulled the brush out to answer. "I don't know." "Don't forget, we're a great team," Giggles declared. Milo felt a warm bubble of happiness inside. He never knew brushing could feel like an adventure. When everyone had finished, they climbed into the blanket fort. Lily cuddled her stuffed rabbit, and Noah turned on a small nightlight shaped like a star.
The soft glow made the fort feel cozy and safe. "Tell us another joke," Noah whispered. Milo grinned and held Giggles up like a tiny microphone. "Okay," he said softly. "Giggles, one more." "Why do teeth never get lost?" Giggles squeaked. Noah and Lily waited, wide-eyed, because they always follow the brush. They all started laughing again. The giggles bounced around the fort like little fireflies. After a while, their laughter turned into sleepy yawns. Milo felt the warm, heavy feeling of bedtime settling over him. He tucked Giggles next to his pillow and closed his eyes. In the darkness, he whispered, "Thank you for helping me feel brave." Giggles gave one last little wiggle, as if to say, "Anytime."
Milo drifted off to sleep with a smile on his face. He dreamed of a giant toothbrush castle where everyone told jokes and no one ever felt afraid. And even though he was sleeping in a different house, he felt perfectly at home. The next morning, sunlight peeked through the blanket fort. Milo woke up feeling warm and happy. He rubbed his eyes and stretched, then saw Noah already awake, blinking sleepily. Lily was curled up beside her stuffed rabbit, snoring softly. Milo reached into his pillowcase and felt for Giggles. The toothbrush was still there, safe and snug. He gave it a little squeeze. "Morning," he whispered. "Morning," Giggles squeaked back in its bright, cheerful voice. "Ready for a new day?" Milo smiled. He was ready. He had been so brave at the dentist and at show and tell, and even here at Noah's house. It felt like everything had changed since Giggles started telling jokes. Maybe it was true that laughter made everything easier. Noah sat up, rubbing his hair. "Did your toothbrush really talk last night?" he asked in a sleepy voice. Milo nodded. "You didn't dream it." Noah grinned. That was the funniest thing ever. Just then, Noah's mom poked her head into the fort. "Good morning, sleepyheads. Time to get up. Pancakes are almost ready." Lily sat up, blinking. "Yay, pancakes!" she squeaked. Milo and Noah crawled out of the fort and helped fold the blankets. After breakfast, Milo's mom came to pick him up. She smiled when she saw how happy he looked. "Did you have fun?" she asked as she helped him into his jacket. Milo nodded. "The best sleepover ever." When they got home, Milo carefully placed Giggles back in the bathroom cup. He patted the handle gently. "I have an idea," he said. "Want to hear it?" Giggles wiggled. "Always." Milo leaned close. "Let's have a toothbrushing party." Giggles squeaked. "A party? With jokes?" Milo nodded. "I can invite some friends. We can all bring our toothbrushes. You can tell everyone funny jokes so brushing isn't boring." "That's the best idea I've ever heard," Giggles declared. Later that afternoon, Milo wrote colorful invitations on pieces of bright paper. He invited Noah, Emma, Caleb, and Lily. Each invitation had a picture of a smiling toothbrush wearing a tiny party hat. When his mom read them, she laughed softly. "A toothbrushing party? That's very creative." Milo grinned. "Can we do it tomorrow after school?" "Of course," she said. "I'll get extra toothpaste and little cups." The next day, everyone arrived right after school. Noah brought his blue toothbrush, Emma had a pink one with sparkles, Caleb's was green with a dinosaur on the handle, and Lily carried a tiny yellow brush that matched her hair ribbons. Milo stood proudly by the bathroom door. "Welcome to the toothbrushing party," he announced. Everyone giggled. They all squeezed into the bathroom, which felt like it had turned into a tiny, colorful clubhouse. "This is Giggles," Milo said, holding up his toothbrush. "He tells jokes to make brushing fun." Noah nodded. "I heard him. It's true." Emma clapped her hands. "I can't wait." Milo looked at Giggles. "Ready to start the show?" The bright voice asked, "What time do little teeth go to bed?" Everyone leaned closer. "Tooth hurdy," Giggles chirped. Everyone laughed so loud, Milo's mom peeked in to see what was happening. She smiled when she saw all the kids brushing happily. Milo passed out small cups of water and dabbed toothpaste on everyone's brushes. Then he held up Giggles again. "Let's brush for 2 minutes, and we'll hear jokes the whole time." The kids all started brushing together, giggling between swishes. Giggles told one silly joke after another. "What did the tooth say to the dentist?" "Fill me in." "Why did the toothbrush go to school?" "To brush up on its skills." "What happens when you forget to brush?" "You get plaque-tastrophe." Each time, the kids snorted and wiggled with laughter. It was the silliest toothbrushing anyone had ever seen. When the 2 minutes were up, Milo's mom handed out little stickers that said, "Superstar Brusher." Everyone stuck theirs to their shirts proudly. Milo looked around at his friends, all smiling and showing off clean teeth. His heart felt so warm it almost glowed. "Thank you for coming. This was the best party ever," he said. Emma hugged her pink toothbrush. "We should do this every week." Caleb nodded. "I never liked brushing before, but this was fun." Lily clutched her yellow brush. "Your toothbrush is the funniest." Milo held Giggles up to his ear. "Did you hear that?" he whispered. Giggles wiggled. "Best audience ever." When everyone left, Milo cleaned up the bathroom with his mom. He was tired, but it was the good kind of tired you feel after something special. That night, as he got ready for bed, Milo looked at Giggles sitting in the cup. He felt so proud that he almost burst. "Thanks for helping me be brave," he whispered, "and for making everyone laugh." "You're welcome," Giggles said softly. "That's what friends are for." Milo brushed his teeth while Giggles told one last bedtime joke. "What do you call a dentist's favorite movie?" Milo's eyes were sleepy, but he managed to answer, "What?" "Plaque to the future!" He giggled and spit into the sink. Then he gave Giggles a gentle pat. He climbed into bed, pulling his blanket up to his chin. He felt safe and loved, knowing that no matter what happened tomorrow, he could always count on his joke-telling toothbrush. As his eyelids fluttered closed, he thought of all the adventures he and Giggles might have. Maybe next time they'd visit the school nurse or teach the kindergarten class to brush. And even though Milo didn't know exactly what tomorrow would bring, he knew one thing for sure. With Giggles by his side, every day would have at least a little bit of laughter.